My name is Olumide Abimbola Ajayi. I'm the Executive Director of the Africa Leadership Forum. I want to congratulate Region 2 of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, led by our Father in the Lord, National Overseer, Pastor Joseph Obayemi, for this year Fire Conference. I'm very humbled to have been invited to be part of this, and I want to thank the authority of the region, all the province pastors, all the zonal pastors, and all the area and parish pastors who had put together this year conference. I indeed appreciate that the church needs to be doing this to increase the fire in us, both in our ministerial work and our professional callings. I've been asked to speak on strategies for economic breakthrough in today's new normal environment. And I would like to do a run-through of what the whole lecture will be about. We'd like to find out what is new normal, what do we mean by economic breakthrough, what the strategy means, how did we arrive at the new normal, what are the futures of the new normal, and what are the new opportunities that the new normal has thrown up. What kinds of strategies will enable us to maximize opportunities and achieve sustainable prosperity as Christians operating within the new normal. What is the new normal? The new normal actually means a new way of living and of going about our lives and work and interactions with other people. The current new normal also was created by the emergence of COVID-19, whose causative agent is known as severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, otherwise known as SARS-CoV-2. Unlike the HIV/AIDS pandemic, COVID-19 is more contagious and infectious and is not really associated with a particular income group or social status. Therefore, our level of adaptation and changes that we have to make in our lives is much higher than the era of the HIV. These adaptations and changes is what we consider as a new normal. What do we consider as economic breakthrough? Now, because I know the composition of our audience for this conference vary, it is like a rainbow, I will simply try to define economic breakthrough as power to move beyond the economic and financial obstacles created by the emergence of the new normal. Economic breakthrough can occur when you apply new or advanced knowledge or techniques that takes you over and above an economic defense line created by the new normal. So that is what, so achieving economic breakthrough therefore requires fresh or new knowledge, ideas, and strategies that can be applied in overcoming restraints produced by the new normal, which is actually the main objective of this presentation. And that's why, again, we'd like to thank the authority of the region for thinking that people need to begin to engage the new normal with new strategy. Strategy, on the other hand, which every one of us maybe will understand, is an intentional means through which a person seeks to achieve a sustainable economic growth, economic breakthrough, and prosperity beyond the constraints and challenges created by the new normal. Now, we can apply this into many things that we're involved in. But when applied to business, for example, a business strategy is a set of competitive moves and actions that the business uses to attract customers, compete successfully, strengthen performance, and achieving organizational goals. We can do same in ministry. We can also have strategy for our evangelism, strategy for reaching out to people, How do we attract people to the church? How do we ensure that even in the new normal, the church keeps on growing? Strategies can be developed around our area. We want to ask ourselves, how did we arrive at the new normal? The discovery of COVID-19 during a pneumonia outbreak in Wuhan city in China was when COVID-19 was discovered. It is estimated that one infected individual may infect 2.5 individuals, maybe 3 individuals within 5-day period, which may increase to 4 or 6 individuals within 30 days. In the event that those also infect other people. As reported by WHO World Health Organization on March 18, 2021, there have been 209,510 confirmed cases of COVID-19 globally, including 2,680,469 deaths, 2,680,469 deaths. The scale of deaths are thus impacted many countries. Several countries have found it necessary to issue sit-at-home orders or lockdown to contain the spread of the virus. The whole world is talking about vaccines. As at 18th of March this year, 2021, a total number of 364,184,603 vaccine doses had been administered globally. And when you look at some of the features of the new normal, it includes daily mandatory of self-assessment for health employees or students to check for possible coronavirus. We have had cases of coronavirus outbreak even in schools here in Lagos State. They say you should isolate at home. We need to test to be ensured that individuals don't have that symptoms. Employees don't return to work and they are very clear and they are sure that they don't have this. Masking for everyone entering any facility, social distancing in all areas. We can see that even in our churches now we observe social distancing. Most of us continue to work primarily from remote locations in our homes. We now face the reality, and the reality is that we will likely to be like this for some time to come. Maybe the first or second quarter of 2022 may be when we will start seeing some kind of formal office environment. COVID-19 has impacted a large number of countries and is turning out to become a critical economic, strategic, and political clashes happening all over the world. The outbreak is and is still impacting all industries, including ICT sector. The world economy has lost $10 trillion to COVID-19 since this started in 2019. In Nigeria and around the world, you saw that borders were closed. Society have to change the way and manner they live. As the entire country come under quarantine orders, it led to reduction in human contact. Manufacturers also recognize that unless they change their strategy, COVID-19 might impact on, and indeed impacted on them, as I'm going to demonstrate right now. And you know that anything that affects the economy affects our pocket, affects us individually. The lockdown of major cities, of course, in Nigeria, the drop in oil, on crude oil prices, low production capacity, and a huge debt profile that we have in Nigeria has led to the current foreign exchange devaluation, which has impacted many sectors. The fast moving consumer good have had mixed experience, but we know that pharmaceutical industries had been at much more advantage because a lot of people require medicine for treatment during this COVID-19. One of the things that also happened, that while the government was focusing on COVID-19 treatment, the other ailments and diseases and medical needs of people were more or less neglected during this time. COVID-19 impacted the business environment, and that's why, again, I'm congratulating the region for bringing this kind of a topic to enable us understand what is happening and how we can increase our own economic status, improve on it, even within the new normal. COVID-19 pandemic has seen restriction of both the flow of people and goods across international borders, even locally in Nigeria. And we know that people and goods are lifeblood of all businesses. Now, when disruption comes to those flow, there is a contraction in demand and supply, which invariably reduces the overall productivity. This problem is now compounded by the current devaluation of the naira. And why is this so? You will notice that in our manufacturing outlay, there is a huge component, there is a huge foreign imported raw materials that we use. Of course, this often leads to high cost of production, which invariably is transferred to the customers as high prices. So when people say, oh, prices of things are going up in the market, this is one of the reasons. Again, a lot of businesses discovered that their cash flow had fallen, and therefore they needed a new comprehensive cash management strategy to maintain their business. We also have seen a high risk, and it still continues to happen, that some businesses previously considered as viable will fail during this normal, because a lot of them are facing what we call zero revenue and lack of patronage. Although the federal government has directed that banks do introduce loan moratoriums to cushion the effect of this, but we see that many of the small and medium enterprises are still much more affected. And we all know that there is interconnectivity between businesses. And I'm going to demonstrate this with this example. A fish farmer who was growing his fish very early last year, hoping that maybe during the Easter time, he will be able to sell, and was already selling to a lot of people. Or a fish farmer who supply network includes event centers, caterers, hotels, and restaurants. As soon as the lockdown happened, the demand dried up, and all the matured fish goes to ruin. You won't be able to sell them, you won't be able to have money to feed them. So you discover that the fish farmer is there, but though he's a fish farmer, but his link to event center, to caterers, to clubhouses, to hotels, to restaurants. So once you remove that business collapse, and you can say same to several businesses. There was increase in demand at the beginning of the lockdown, leading to panic buying, and then prices went up. But today, it's not just about panic buying. It is because of the currency devaluation and other unfavorable indicators. People are not buying the way they used to buy. Moreover, there are several COVID-19 related job losses, which impacted purchasing power of consumers in the short, medium terms, thus reducing the general economic well-being of people. People have lost their jobs, and if you lose your job, to say, I want to go and buy what I used to buy before will be. But all is not lost. And that's why this conference is important, and that's why this conference is saying to us, we need to begin to think in a particular way so that we can have solutions and we can see the opportunities even within the new normal challenges that the new normal have created. According to Peter Drucker, in his book, Managing Turbulent Times, he says the greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence itself, but to act with yesterday's logic. What am I saying to you? what you used to do before that has been working is no longer working, and you have to face that that reality. John F. Kennedy once observed that the word crisis in Chinese is composed of two characters, two components, one representing danger, the other one representing opportunity. So my message to you is that even in this new crisis of we find ourselves, it presents us with a choice. You either face it and use the opportunities in it, or you sink with it. And there are very, 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 very many businesses all over the world that came up when there were crises. Dropbox, Uber, WhatsApp, Groupon. Many of them were founded during the time of crisis. And when crisis comes, opportunity is what we should be looking at ourselves. Have you ever wondered why foreigners with their portfolio still come to Nigeria when they say there is security issues, there are challenges? It's because they know that in those security challenges, there are great opportunities which we are even citizens of Nigeria, we don't see. I will give you some examples of opportunities, of new opportunities that are emerging in this new normal. First, one of them is what we call telemedicine. If you are in the medical area, you can begin to offer medical advisories online because people actually want to hear, want to know what is wrong with them. You can begin, number two, you can move on to what we call remote personal care. You can begin to go to give people cares. Barbers can go home. You see, what I'm saying is that our businesses that used to be demand-driven, you believe that because I've opened a shop, people will come to me. No, you now have to take your business to people, even in their homes. Medicare and medical equipment will do well. Drugstores are opening. Many people in pharmaceutical businesses have made a lot of money, and they still make more in years to come. You can go into home delivery. Very many businesses surge on Instagram among retail stores as home delivery services skyrocketed during this pandemic. You can in fact set up your online grocery stores and make money. You know, one of the lessons that COVID-19 and new normal has taught us is that people say to themselves, why do I have to go to the market, spend 3 hours, waste my time, when somebody can actually bring this to me at home? So home delivery has come to stay. You better believe it. And the more you believe it, you can also key into it. One other area that you can go into is food and agribusiness. The major concern of government today, I will say it boldly to you, is how to feed Nigerians because there is no money to import food. This is a major opportunity now for us to go into agricultural value chain. And I'll give you examples of that value chain. Input supplies, tractor hiring, land clearing. You can even set up labor gangs. You can get people to be going around to be working in different farms, and you make money out of it. You can go to crop production. You can go into livestock production, processing, sales, and marketing. You can also go on to online educational services. Home lesson teachers made a lot of money during the COVID-19, and they are still making money because there's a lot of pressure on school right now, on the school system. And parents are not getting sufficient services and sufficient input from the teachers in school. So it's one area you can go. You can go into logistics, product delivery using motorbikes, buses, and trucks. Outsourcing, it has now become a major cut-crossing strategy that a lot of companies are using under the new normal. Nobody wants to waste their money going into a lot of things. So they better outsource many of these things to people. Now, I would like to share with us in the next couple of minutes strategies for maximizing the emerging opportunities. And I have about 13 of them that I would like to share with us. Number one strategy is change of mindset. You know, in Job chapter 22, verse 29, Job 22, verse 29, the Bible has said, when men are cast down, or saying there is a cast down, then thou shalt say, there is a lifting up, and he shall save the humble person. Change your mindset. The fact that COVID-19 has done some damages does not mean the end of the world for you. The mind remains the critical room for maximization of opportunities that COVID-19 has provided. If you get defeated in the mind, in a matter of time, you will find yourself in the wrong places. Focus on lifting up and don't be cast down like the other people. Number two, we need to engage in scenario building. And what do I mean? You see, when in those days when they do planning, they plan because you have certain previous trends which you can project into the future. It doesn't work any longer that way. You begin to imagine that certain things can happen. Oshodi can be blocked tomorrow. What do I do with my shop? Oh, there can be crisis in this place tomorrow and they will shut down the whole place. What should I be able to, what should I do? Imagine so many things, and it will help you in trying to flow very well into the future, even if there is anything that happens that could disrupt your normal business flow or normal way of life. Third is that all of us needs to begin to imbibe what we call entrepreneurial spirit. Begin to think about the problems and the things that you see around you. Accept changes and the reality that pandemic has caused. Begin to find out and think out of the box. What is the solution of the problems that I see? Become creative. As entrepreneurs, you need to develop the ability to manage complexity. Number 4 strategy is resilience. It's resilience. It's ability to be able to absorb shock and come out of it better. You see, one of the things that has happened in COVID-19 is that the skills that people had before that used to give them money had suddenly become useless. Therefore, you need to learn new trade and new skills that are very relevant to this new normal. Number 5, for those of us in business, you need to focus on advertisement. Be consistent in your ad and the minds of your old customers while you're also working to bring new ones. As you do this, of course, it will sustain you out of the pandemic. Number 6, develop ability to scan for opportunities. Invest in the right information, data about customers and market. More importantly, COVID-19 outbreak had induced some persistent changes in our society. Like I said, consumer habits or needs could uncover valuable business opportunity for startups. For instance, there is a demand for remote working, for e-commerce, like I said, for education. Why don't you sell your skill online? Why don't you tell people that these are the things that can do, and before you know it, people will start calling you. Stay loyal to your customers. I've said about it sometimes ago. Let people know that you are still around. Let them know. Number 8, adopt what I call mobile technology, which all of us know. Prior to the pandemic, many stores in developed countries have long embraced the idea of mobile technology to display their products. This has helped them to cut down heavily on overheads. And as small business owner or people that wants to go into business, this becomes a critical strategy that you need to adopt. During the pandemic, in my organization, we were able to swiftly move online and begin to do our work. We were able to deliver 2 critical international projects online. And during this same time, in the last 10 months, we have trained more than 1,436 people online. And in the past, to be able to do that, we need a lot of resources. I need to hire hall, I need to pay for diesel, I need to do all of these things. But today, the diesel of my business is data. And that's what you need to know. What was meant to be a very bad situation then became a huge provider of resources for us. Number 9, for those of us that have a lot of people around us that are working with us, please involve them in your decisions. Be willing to take advice and continually foster good spirit. Because see, the people that are working under you also know a lot of things. Don't ignore them. Part of your strategy includes involving all of these people. Number 10, you need to be careful about the way you spend money. Stick only to essential spending while adopting strategy to manage your operating costs. Ability to cut your cost, what we call operating cost, without compromising on consumer value will be crucial to your survival and to your productivity and efficiency under the new normal. Number 11, you can engage in what I call asset transformation. You can begin to look at the asset that you have, that are available to you, and develop them or use them in a more productive way. For example, if your house is in a strategic location in your neighborhood, you can remodel the house into a neighborhood shop. You can use your empty land for fish farming or medium-sized produce businesses. A lot of us have houses that is big, that is not delivering much to us. But under this new normal, it is possible to begin to transform your assets. Number 12, for those of us that want to start new business, please start small. One of the ego problems of people generally is that they always like to look for big things, big money, and when whereas the resources they have with them can initiate great things in their hand. Always remember Job 8 verse 7, say, though my beginning may be small, my latter end shall greatly increase. So as you do this business, the Almighty God will always give you the grace and the wisdom to increase over time. Number 13, and that's the last thing I want to say, we need to begin to take advantage of the intervention funds provided by the government, especially the ones that we also manage, and we manage with the Central Bank of Nigeria and the National Microfinance Bank as an entrepreneurship development institute. It's called Agro Business Small Medium Enterprise Investment Scheme. This scheme requires you to undergo a 1-week training for 10,000 naira, prepare a business plan, process a loan up to the level of 10 million naira if you are an existing business owner, or up to 5 million if you are a startup, at 9% interest rate, and you have 7 years to pay back. And people have been using this. People have been using this to turn around their businesses and their situation, and there's no reason why we should not be able to do this. And if you are interested, you can always talk to the conference organizers. They will surely give you my contact, which I also put in this slide. You can always talk to us. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being part of this conference. Once again, I would like to thank the National Overseer and all the pastors in the region for inviting me. God bless you, and thank you.